All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are in game number 1 from our round of 8 match for the Olimoleague weekly number 65. Spawning up here in the top left-hand corner of the map once again is going to be the red Terran player from Africa Freaks, aLive.
The bottom right, as the yellow Zerg, it's Rocket Man. Sounds so superhero-y.
Maybe it's Rocke T-Man, because you can see he goes by the name Rocke with a clan tag.
Well, I mean, it's Rock. Forgot the T.
No, it's like an Archon mode fusion between Rocky, like the boxer Rocky from the movies, and Mr. T. T-Man. T-Man's a bad translation of Mr. T.
I mean, we're both wrong. It's Rocket. Clearly.
Rocky.
So yeah, the clan tag is kind of like this walk around rule of the no barcode rule, which I think most rooms to this point have. It's not even specific to us or anything like that. I think WCS has it too. So yeah, you like could change their name and like shell out $40 if they really need a barcode account, but it also is not that big of a deal to have just their clan tag, I guess, as their identifier, as their marker. But a lot of times you just go by whatever's on the bracket.
Yeah.
So it's easy enough. I mean, at this point, Olivia not only is putting their race, which a lot of people asked for, so I guess she kind of went ahead and, you know, researched a little bit and whatnot, but also their Korean name a lot of the time, so that's kind of cool.
Definitely a lot more work, and big shout out to Olivia for getting all that stuff done, just kind of going above and beyond on that. Reaper's going to come in over here, already getting or forcing out a single extractor to be made, but Rocky doing a pretty good job, not really losing any Zerglings just yet. Oh, there's the first one.
So you're actually going to call him Rocky then?
I am going to call him Rocky. I like Rocky.
Okay.
He's the challenger.
That's one of the movie series I haven't really watched. You know, like
really?
I've seen like a couple of scenes here and there from like what are there 5 Rocky movies, but no, I've never watched it. It's on
Ain't
my list of
nobody
things to do, I suppose.
Gonna hit as hard as life. It's not about
I mean,
how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
Amazing.
I can't do the impression. I can't do the impression, but I know the lines.
Those seriously amazing. Yeah, apparently. Now I've watched like I watched Aliens, which I hadn't really watched. I watched Terminator, which I hadn't really watched, and I still haven't gotten around to Rocky. I've been just very disappointed by like old movies though. Like I started watching Casablanca, and I was like, why do people like this? Or Gone with the Wind, and that was even more of a question mark. I hated that movie. Well, it was so stupid. But hey, look at this. We have a Hellbat attack on the way from aLive. Now, keep in mind that a lot of Zergs in Korea, and Rocket Man is a Zerg in Korea, are going from Mutiling Bling. So this doesn't get like that almost instant denial that can sometimes happen with European Zergs, where they are already getting roaches anyway. So it's like almost no big deal.
Yeah. It's also worth noting that Rocket Man does not have any sort of vision of that armory, so he knows that there's a starport infector and everything else coming down pretty early. That's not going to be a huge surprise. What maybe is the surprise is that when he sees these Hellions turning into Hellbats, as he is pretty much just sitting on a purely Ling composition, trying to get out of Baneling Nest, but it has Spore Crawler down and everything, getting ready to deal with Liberator harassment. Is he going to be prepared for the Hellbats, though?
Not so much. The thing is, a good concave or spread on the queens and mastlings can actually deal with it, but he's not making, or he doesn't have mastlings, rather.
No.
Like, he's trying to get there now, but more importantly, trying to get to the banelings. Two of them, 3 of them are going to form, but don't really get the greatest hits.
Yeah, these drones are also starting to get trapped over here now. There's no escape for them, because if they try and drone walk out over the natural or back into the main base, they're gonna take big hits. Oh god, there go down.
Okay,
14.
Game.
Okay, that's
GG.
aLive taking a dominating victory in game number 1.
Yeah, I mean that wasn't really. That definitely wasn't reflective of Rocket Man's skill right there. But it was just like, that happened all the time in Heart of the Swarm, you know? Like, your Banelings was a little bit late, you didn't make the Banelings, you didn't scout the build, so you just kind of die, and it looks really silly, but it happens.
Yeah. I mean, right now, aLive is effectively being the Russian from Rocky and saying, you know, sitting there, and it's just the game number 1 is just a big statement of, like, I will break you. You know that line, at least, right?
Yes, I actually know the scene.
Okay.
The acting was so on point.
But I think we're going to hop to a short little break while we get set up with game number 2. So we'll see you guys in just a little bit with game number 2 in this series. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are in game number 2 as we spawn down here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map. On top of the player from Africa Freaks, it's aLive, sitting up 1-0.
The top right, newcomer. It's the yellow Zerg, Rocket Man.
I still think you should call him Rocke.
Don't call him by his bracket name. I'm gonna deal with it.
Okay, jeez, fine.
Okay, alright, whatever.
Well, aLive is sitting 1 game away from victory, and that last game was a really, really big pressure play, right? Like the going for the hell battle and everything. But that's kind of the other hard and annoying thing, is that that wasn't even a macro game, and aLive still can play out a macro game probably pretty safely, especially with like cross spawn positions. And he may be okay with it.
He can start off really well, yeah.
The quote-unquote macro game, I mean, of course, where Korean Terran players always trying to hit that time. Well, I mean, every single Terran player these days tries to hit that timing before Hive or anything like that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, cross-spawn Frost, it does give you that security, which Zergs can sometimes run away with. That's like kind of the flip side of a double-edged sword, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
You might get 3 bases up, but Zerg also might get 4 bases up and like creep spread going, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, this build's still definitely the most common build to see. The the second racks really early into pretty fast medevacs. Just because it doesn't really matter how big the map is. If you have boosted medevacs right across the map, they still get there pretty quickly and can start denying creep and stuff.
Mm-hmm. So in that last game, we ended up seeing Rocket Man try and go for the Bailey opening. Do you think that he's going to try and just play it out with the Ling Bling Muta style?
Yeah, I think so. Like I said, Korean Zergs are really fond of it. I'm not sure. I guess they gave up on the Roach Ravager thing because the all-ins have really fallen off, first of all. Like 4 months ago, it was like all Roach Ravager all-ins.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess, the Roach Ravager is not supposed to hold up that well in the mid-game. But of course, now you have like the European Zergs adding a bunch of Queens and Infestors, and Rogue finally tried that style and made it like everyone was like, oh my god, so original, and it wasn't, and whatever. Yeah, but a lot of Zergs are still sticking to Mutilating Bling. I guess just because it's more familiar, and maybe they're having slightly higher successes with it, but obviously not that much, as there's not many Zergs in Korea in their current tournaments. And it's cross-spawn Frost, so even if you're typically a Roach Ravager player, I think this is one of those times you think about something else.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we got aLive on the hunt for Overlords, and he is going to be rewarded, maybe. There it is. Okay.
There you go.
I was like, don't walk past that Overlord. But the Overlords do have speed, so they should be able to get away pretty easily.
Yeah, I think aLive always wants to hit before speed finishes, but because Rocket Man was just, 2 base Hellbat all in, I think he was really going to be on point with trying to get it. He's getting a Roach Horn, and it's kind of like hidden in the back there. This also might be paranoia again from the Hellbat attack, because he still can't get scouting, or he might have actually changed his style up and is going for roaches.
Huh. Hey, do you want to hear Fear Dragon's most next useless fact? If you scout a building while it's landing, but it's still in the animation for it, and then you lose vision, you will just see, and if you take a look at Rocket Man's vision, you'll just see the factory, like, constantly with the thrusters going down as it's landing.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I think I knew that.
Well, okay, fine. God. I'm just trying to provide useful content, okay?
Get wrecked.
Alright, well, here comes the double medevac drop as aLive finally starts to try and put on the pressure while he takes a 3rd expansion behind it. So the drop is supposed to keep all the units back at home for Rocket Man so that he can try and safely take the 3rd without really having to worry about a big counterattack or anything along those lines.
I don't think Rocket Man wanted to go for roaches. We'll definitely see either when he starts upgrades or when he starts like the roach speed as that lair finishes. But since he also got a Baneley Nest, I'm thinking this is just for early game. The drops going right into the main base is actually really risky. A lot of times you just unload this and try and stim and clear up creep and whatever else is there. But there's really not that many roaches, and Stim Marines can be pretty good, especially if that Widowmine would get a hit.
I'm very, very concerned right now for Rocket Man.
Yeah. He is forced to get more roaches, which I think is a little less than ideal right now.
Yeah.
This is a point in time where like more queens is actually better. It's like really frustrating to see. I guess Korean Zergs as a whole, not to paint them with like a super wide brush, but like yeah, Korean Zergs aren't getting a lot of queens because that's when like 3 queens they walk up there, and you actually snipe one of them medevacs, which can be a very big deal. But instead, just roaches, not a big deal for aLive to pick up and continue to drop with even more medevacs. But it is going to be, I guess, roach baneling, as there's also a missile attack on the way, but also baneling speed. This is like a very all-in composition, though. I don't know if I like it.
Yeah, that's exactly the word that I use for it, is that it is a very all-in or committed type of unit composition, because you have to get something done with this. Ravager will be kind of useful for at least helping push back the medevac, although shouldn't ever really take out the medevac on its own unless there's a bit of miscontrol over there from aLive, which I'm not really anticipating anytime super soon. But, well, I like the fact that aLive also split up these drops, because his 3rd expansion is going to be pretty safely established pretty soon. But, oh, we do have a baneling drop coming on in.
Cool. Well, did you see this? So aLive might not be expecting it. I mean, he's an Overlord. He does recognize that it needs to be cleaned up. It doesn't pull the SCVs. Probably thinking it's Lings, if anything.
Yeah, 3 workers going down is not the most amount of damage, though. Yeah,
that was a nice last-second pull as he realized what was going on. But yeah, the Roach Baneling composition, he might, like I say, it's an all-in, like, composition, but he might not be using it aggressively, right? Like, you can actually go for an all-in, but he's getting both upgrades now, so it can also be just a composition defensively, and you can do the same thing, trying to get the fast infestation pit and whatnot, but it is more gas, depending on how many Banelings you feel forced to make. He did bother to get centrifugal hooks, so that's, more gas to on top of that, where again, like, you go to Snoot style and he's making mostly queens and roaches and ravages that, like, never die, and he kind of, like, has that excess bank to get to that hive. Now we have a melee upgrade starting. That's interesting.
I mean, I don't hate it, especially since you have the infestation pit also coming down from Rocket Man. He's very clearly thinking about maybe teching up to Hive Tech and trying to get up to that Ultraless late game. But whoa, got a lot of SCVs going down. I imagine another Baneling attack.
Yeah, he was making some off to the left side. They got 9 SCVs. That's really not the biggest deal. aLive still on 53. It means he has like 2 other rounds of SCV production, and really he would have been like stopped by now. But I don't think it's such a big deal. aLive is also getting prepped for push. Unfortunately, the way that he built his second entry rainbow is kind of late, as opposed to like 2 at the same time, like Yun usually does. And I say this not like I would say it's a mistake, but this is the second time I've seen aLive do this with the same build, so I guess it is his build. But that doesn't mean that he's not hitting a 2-2 timing, he's hitting a 2-1 timing. If that.
Yeah, well, he still might end up having the upgrade lead regardless, though. Pathogen Glance is coming out for Rocket Man, though, and he is getting up his Hive Tech as well, so the Infestors are going to be really, really critical to just try and buy as much time as possible and try and halt this push-in so he doesn't just die to it. If he can do that, Ultraless going to be really, really strong.
Yeah, of course. So as he realizes, like, it's around that time, right, where you would have, like, a push with or without 2-2. The tanks are ready, the combat shield is ready, etc., etc. He's going to start getting Banelings. He will have upgrades for every single unit, but yeah, not the 2-2 that you'd usually see either on the Lings or the Roaches, which is why I'm like, I don't know if I like this 1-1-1, one everything here. I'd rather, especially to have the +2 Carapace to continue helping the Ultras should they come out, and he does get the Ultraless Cavern, but he does have Banelings. A good fungal could really hurt aLive.
Oh,
Banelings the tanks.
Banelings getting some okay connections over there, but not necessarily the best. A lot of them were going off on the Marines at the front, or even the siege tanks, and now we end up seeing a retreat from Rocket Man. He has a bit of space to work with and a lot of creep to work with as well, but more Banelings are still being made right now. He's going to end up losing quite a few units in the process.
Yeah, the Banelings, again, like, they can super help out. Like, if all of them hit the Marines instead of the tanks, that would have been very helpful. If the Fungals actually got hit, then suddenly it's, like, even worse than if the Roaches get on top of them. There you go, Banelings helping out there. aLive, he is feeling the pressure. Like, he wants to win with this. He never has to deal with Ultras. lair for?
Well, yeah, I'm really confused about that lair. I feel like it may have been a miscontrol or a mistake or something during the midst of all the micro, but we do have another drop coming in up to the top side at the same time that those Marines are still getting cleaned up. And oh, Rocket Man gonna start losing some more drones, and he's already lost quite a few, but the Ultralists are gonna start coming out now. Chitinous plating also coming out. 4th expansion gets sniped.
Yeah. That was a good use. I mean, obviously, you prefer to have medevacs with that so you can pick it up, but that was a good use if you're going to lose all of your units. Liberator's going to help out a little bit too. Now, remember that the Ultralists, they don't have plating yet, so if they come out now, they can actually be focus fired pretty easily. There's not even +2 carapace, it's only +1.
And pretty soon there's going to be +3 infantry weapons for the Terran player aLive, so it's going to be chitinous plating that is in a worse situation than I think we've almost ever seen it before.
Yeah, these are going to be some of the worst ultras we've ever seen. But ideally, Rocket Man can hold on till that plating and try and push this back, but the Liberators are also giving him a bit of trouble.
I mean, just the Bioforce and everything is giving him a lot of trouble, but at least these Ultralists will have +1 melee attack since he did start upgrading them. Oh, Ultralist goes down so quickly. And that was the only Ultralist out on the map. That was the only Ultralist that was being made. Can he clean this up with the pure Roach Force? It doesn't look like it. aLive takes game number 2 and takes the series 2-0. Moving on to the semifinals.
Yep. Just looking breezy too. Easy peasy.
Easy peasy for breezy.
Yeah, totally. Does this mean we're gonna have to wait, I do believe? Usually wait for the Korean casters to get to the semifinals with us. I think they're probably, if I'm gonna guess, casting Den versus Duke, because that was like, I think, their original intention. Which that's only the round 2, so we're way far ahead in the bracket. It might be some time before we have another game going. That's why breaks exist, I suppose.
All right. Is that the subtle signal that we're going to a break?
I think so. Yeah.
I just want to make sure because, you know, we're all about transparency here and just saying everything and not doing anything subtly.
Yeah, we want your money. Watch ads. Bye.
But of course, if you do want to send your money, don't send it just to us. Send it over to patreon.com/Olimoleague if you want to support the Olimoleague. If you want to see more of it, you want to see the prize pool and, of course, the player base grow. And that's probably the best way to do it. Patreon.com/Olimoleague. And, of course, a big shout out as well to Twitch Korea for recently picking up and sponsoring the Olimoleague. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back in a little bit, so we'll see you guys soon.